for joining in. So today we have an interesting session. So this session is mainly about maximizing the product availabilities. So basically how we maximize the profitability of each product in e-commerce. So that's the basically the idea. And for that, what we are doing over here is that we'll walk you through the whole process. Like what's our process for the how we maximize profitability for the e-commerce brands. And after working with 50 plus brands, we realized that lot can be done on the product level itself. Before starting with the retention, conversion, or any a marketing plan, you can do lot improvement or lot of profitability related changes on your profit, like a product level itself. So in this webinar we will basically cover framework to do product analysis, then insights, and then collectively making product level changes. So that's basically broadly the idea. And this basically fits into our PCC framework, which is like product, customer, and communication. And in that framework we have, in the product section, we look at the price, we look at the AOV, bundles, and discounting, but we also look at the profitability side of the product, and what is happening on the product and why it's not being profitable and rest of things. So those becomes an important part of this a product level maximization. And customer is the four stages of customer, like non-buyer, buyer, repeat buyer, and lapsed buyer. So that's we and then we look at the communication and email segmentation in this, and core messaging on the product level, core messaging on the customer level, and then broadcasting it on the communication level. So that's basically the framework. And in this, basically coming into what's product profitability analysis is. So it's the process of simply determining how profitable a product is for the business. And it's not just about the gross margin, because gross margin is doesn't tell you the complete picture. So for a single product analysis, we look at four data points. One is ERP, which is returns, your gross margins, and everything. But apart from that, it's also about your acquisition. What's your acquisition analysis? Then how's your conversion looks like, your conversion rate, and everything around that, your conversion part of the story related to your products. And then it comes down to retention part. So how your product selection is impacting on the retention, or you can say how retention is from the lens of product. So everything is looked from a lens of product, how the this product is converting better or worse compared to another, how the acquisition, cost of acquisition, is differ from, and standard is a ERP, the gross, and everything. So those two becomes those 4 points becomes the base. And before getting the all data points, it's tough to take a call. If you take a call just on the gross margin, maybe the product is taking too big, the CPC is very cost of acquisition is very high for that a product, if even if you have a high gross margin. Or there might be a product where the LTV is very low, you get one first sale is very low, high converting first sale, but then if someone buys that product, there is a very low probability of them coming back, because maybe there is something not resonating well with the customer. Or so it also looks at the complete picture, the conversion, the acquisition, conversion, and the retention side of things, along with the gross margin, returns, and everything, how much is gross. ERP is basically we call it ERP from marketing side, but it's basically the how big is the operational overload, or operational, from the gross, or from the inventory, or from the delays, or from the manufacturing, or the defects, or so those everything we bundle up into ERP. But this is basically broadly, it shows into your gross margin data, or your this product conversion data. And then in the ERP, how you get that data. So we go into Shopify reports, and we look at two reports. One is sales by product, and second is by revenue. So these are the two reports we look at, and based on these two reports, we come down to your this product level analysis. So product level analysis helps us with this kind of a data analysis. And second is your acquisition analysis. So acquisition analysis is the most tricky part in the product analysis, because ERP data is easy. You can get the returns and inventory and all those information. But basically, to get that product level mapping, and we will come down to Excel, where we'll show how we are mapping this on the Excel. But to get that data, you need to go into so what we are trying to get is like acquisition cost per product. And for Facebook it's tough little bit. In Insta or like TikTok, it's the data is not available. But for us, and in our experience, what we do is like we use the sample from Google data. We Google shopping campaigns, and everyone, like all of the brands we work with, run their shopping campaigns. So using that, we get like either from PMX or like shopping campaigns, we get that report. And in reports we get like group by bundles, or group by brand, or group by product. And then we come down to your this like product level information, where we get like each brand or each product, or it depends, like brand or product, depends from brand to brand. If it's like a small store or like D2Cs, then there might be like 5 to 6 products, so you are just doing it on the product level analysis. If it's like a marketplace, then you are doing on the category level. If it's like somewhere in the middle, like not 10,000 products but not like 10 products, then you are doing mostly on the brand or category level. So that's broadly the bifurcation. So then you try to pivot it on that, and then you get like spend per category. Spend we will extrapolating, so spend doesn't matter. The main part is the cost of acquisition, and like a conversion by brand, and how much are you spending in that Google. And using that, we can extrapolate that data, that this brand, like supposedly if we are running an ad on Nike, so Nike is converting like CPC is this much, and Nike is we are bringing that cost of acquisition of Nike shoes is this, or Reebok shoes is this. So that will become a base for us, like further analysis for the like a complete picture. So we get that like which so supposedly like a $50 product will have a low cost of acquisition, and $200 product will have a higher cost of acquisition. But and the most important part is that uh, you are increasing your AOV by like this, like 4 times, like 50 to 200. So how much your CAC is increasing? Is it increasing in the same ratio, different ratio? What's the structure? What's the story over there? Maybe it's like increasing just by 10%. So then like so then we have to look at the complete picture. So that's basically about the acquisition data. Then there is a like a conversion rate analysis. So conversion rate analysis is mostly about like how to get the conversion data of the product level. So product level conversion data, and we'll like come down to in Excel, but we go in GA4. There is like a e-commerce purchase report, which gives you like a good analysis or good breakdown of like items and items per view. Like so how many items someone viewed, what's how many items they added to the cart, and eventually they bought. So it gives you a linear structure of A, B, C, then like the view part, and then the like a add to cart, and your conversion. So we monitor two metrics over here. One is like a view to add to cart. So some products are very famous or very inspirational or aspirational, sorry, aspirational, where it like supposedly for a like not iPhone, but yeah, maybe like for iPhone. So there might be like more add to cart, less conversion, and views will be high. For a normal product, or even a Dyson like air purifier, so Dyson will have lot of aspirational, uh, but there might not be many people buying it eventually. So there might be many add to cart, but not conversion enough conversions, or like low conversion rate. For some products, there might be like very low add to cart but high conversion rate. So these two metrics becomes important, that how many views, how many like what's the conversion rate, and what's the like how many added to the cart. So what's the attraction of the product also, and what's the eventual conversion of the product. Then we get to the retention part. So retention, product level retention is becomes very important, in that sense that the first product have a very like a maximum impact on the LTV. So even if someone made like 5 purchases, so by looking at their first purchase, you can tell that will the customer will last, or customer will not last in the ecosystem. So then it becomes a very big challenge to see, not challenge, but like that's the important part, to see that what is the product LTV. So not its LTV is eventually of the customer, but we split LTV by the product. So we say that if 50 people bought product A, then what's their behavior over time, if 50 people, the first purchase of their first purchase was product B, then what's their LTV? And we have seen like significant difference between those. So maybe the promise is not right in some products, or some products are over promising, under delivering, or opposite can be true, that some product is very positive and very people are very happy to get that product, and then it creates a positive impression of the brand, and the customer sticks longer for that product. Or you might be selling like a $50 product or like a $20 product just to bring that user in. Or there are like a lot of theory about like a price leader, that you took a hit on a single product, and then you make up on the rest of the products as well. So sometimes that product, if you are doing it like a hyper discounting on that, or it's not like framed positively, or you are attracting very low quality customers on that in a campaign, so eventually the LTV will not last for that. So people might be there for a deal for that product, but they might not stick around for long. So that also becomes a big part of the story to get that LTV story. So how's your LTV looks like now? uh, so we got this like four analysis, like ERP, acquisition, conversion, retention. So after this, the challenge is about the how we look at it in the Excel. So now we collected like four buckets of data, each on a similar left column level. So on the row level, it's the same about the brand. Now the idea is to go for the this part. So let's deep jump into the Excel. So in Excel, typically like this is the view. So in this, we are focusing on I kept like brand, but it depends from brand to brand. So product, it can be product, it can be category. So you can have something on the left, which is like how you are looking, and don't overcomplicate this. Like the idea is to look at for the five first products, or top five brands, or top five categories. You don't need to do it for 100 products, or like then the analysis will not be there, or like this. And I think like with 10 to 15 products, or like those buckets, you can definitely, like even for a big brand like 8 9 figure brand, but for most of the brands, like five top rows will do, like either five top five products, or top five categories. And I think that will give you a good understanding of the this part, what's the analysis. So first we have ERP data. So we try to map. So that's the basically the role before getting into the insights. So, and that's the whole idea, to look at collectively, like insights will automatically come out, but the idea is to stitching the data across the single brand or single product, and looking at all four attributes. So one is like ERP, which is more around like quantity, return percentage. Brand, so this is dummy data, but in this account there was no returns, so they are not very return heavy brand. And then it's the what's the gross, what's the cost, or free cogs. It can be like a average percentage, it can be like a custom percentage. This was a marketplace, so the percentages are low. If it's like D2C, then this number would be around 60 70% kind of a range. So it depends from brand to brand. Then you look at like the acquisition data. So acquisition data is also more about like clicks, CTR, this, but you look at like conversion and like a revenue. But because we are looking this mainly from conversion rate perspective, so what we are mainly interested in is either the conversion picture, and we are looking at the average cost of conversion. So we are looking these two metrics, and based on these two metrics, we are trying to extrapolate this, that what's the CAC of this brand, or what's the customer like a individual contribution margin of this brand. So we can get to that number. I didn't kept it like just on the contribution margin, because I wanted to have LTV also, and conversion part also. But if you just want to play on that, so you can get like your this, you can map out your shipping also. So shipping can be also mapped in the ERP data. So you can map your shipping numbers also, or something like that, like shipping cost, or like 3PL cost, and you can just map it around that based on the 3PL cost. You can map your PNL per brand level, because you have your CAC. And CAC is, there is a little bit, this is not very reliable data, because it's just we are picking from Google PMax or Google Shopping, but still. And that's becomes like some of the brands or some of the articles online, so they skip this like acquisition part of the story, and they just focus on the gross margin or shipping or like the LTV part. But I feel that conversion is like because for the e-commerce brands, like conversion becomes the main challenge. So you should do a like a primarily or like a small data set also, like even if it's on the small data set, do a analysis of what the CAC looks like for that product, so or the brand. So that becomes really important, like this part, and then we extrapolate it on the complete range. Then we go for the conversion analysis. So conversion analysis is more or less the same. So this will like what's the on the PMAX or like in shopping, what's the conversion and what the conversion in your GA, and what's the add to cart, like add to cart to purchase ratio. So add to cart to purchase ratio and conversion rate view to purchase ratio. So both numbers becomes important, and this number will be higher from your average store revenue, because store conversion rate, because this is like product page to conversion, like purchase. So it's not taking into your category page views or homepage views. It's just considering like how many people landed on or saw that product page, and eventually how many bought. And that tells you about the efficacy of that product or the conversion rate or the like the demand of that product. And this is basically where we use the pricing part, that on conversion rate we play or we run A/B test to get the pricing part, that if we see that very high conversion rate is there on the product level or on the brand level, the price is very low or there is a room for improvement in the terms. If the conversion rate is very high compared to the store, you can increase the price, or so it depends from like so that's the problem with this. Like I can't make any generic statement, but broadly, if you feel that there is a very good conversion rate or it's a very good deal for the customer, so there is a price elasticity in that product, and you can increase the price by $10 or $5 and see how the conversion. And in the terms of like price A/B testing and everything, we do this analysis only, like we monitor the conversion rate, either like we split test or A/B test, or we do it on month basis, and then we try to get the conversion rate metric for the different price points, and then we plot a graph or curve. I'm thinking of like a topic, but uh, this conversion rate becomes a price test indicator. So this is there, and then there is like a AOV retention related metric, that what's the LTV of that, and in that LTV we can always look at this part, like your what's the LTV from the cohort analysis and what's the AOV for each brand level, or this, because this was like added later, so there's no dummy numbers over there. But that's the basically the idea, that once we have this, like there's a big sheet in the terms of there is a lot of data points, and that's why it's become tough to give a generic advice. So now coming to the insights part, that what's the insight, so what's the insight over there. So once we get this on the insight level, so in the insights it comes down to like two things. One is like a remove or fix. So uh, the remove and the fix is not straightforward in the terms. If you have like two products, you can't remove all both your products, or like one product out of two. If you have like 10 products, but if you feel that all the bad metrics are with the first product, and which is like 50% of revenue, you can't eventually, like realistically, you can't remove that product. So the challenge becomes to make it like a remove that product, or like a fix that, like sorry, to fix that. And uh, these are the some points, but it's more about like what's the best option available to you within based on that data, instead of a like I can't say that any product with a 5% return should be removed, any product with like less than 1% conversion rate should be removed. So those kind of broad statements doesn't work in this scenario. So in this, it's very much from brand to brand, stage goals of the brand, if they are looking to scale, what's the structure. But eventually they should mark these products at least. The best strategy is to promote them less, like so we have sometimes removed them from Google feeds, or like product feeds, we have removed them from this part, we remove from homepage. Like the idea is to, even if it's selling, though we don't want to push it, or we don't want to put our marketing dollars behind that product. So that becomes this part. And the idea is not to change everything. The idea is to change like last 20% of it. The idea is goal is not to change like everything or everything on the website. Idea is to just take out like 20% and remove it there. So least profitable, high CAC, high return, low view to conversion, or like low LTV products, promote aggressively. So that becomes a, so it's less about removing and it's more about like fixing, but more importantly, it's more about like direction, like the focus of the brand or focus of the company needs to be around that product. So you invest more on those products, you get more videos made for those, you do more influencer type with these products. So those are few products, and after that analysis you will get your like that those hidden gems which are like maybe they are not much in focus, or there is some like they were not on the radar, and then you can like start putting your marketing dollars or muscle behind that product. So these are like high margins or like low CAC, low returns, and like high conversion rate or like high LTV products. So those are becomes this, but eventually it's more about the equilibrium. It's more about like looking the data in totality and then figuring out that what's to do with the numbers and what kind of analysis you can do, or what kind of eventual impact you can make around the four analysis. So that's the main part, and I think once this is there, rest is I think is pretty straightforward, that uh, but it's more about how each of them look together, like in totality how the strategy looks, and what kind of call you can take given the scenario or given the constraints or given the numbers eventually. So even if you have inventory, so you can't remove them, but idea is to like not put a place order or something like that. So that's the main idea behind that. And I think that's it, and this is very highly profitable activity. So we don't recommend it doing it like once a month. Even once a quarter is good enough for this kind of activity, or once every like twice a year, like every 6 months if you do a product performance analysis, because this is a long term game. You need a long term view. You can't do this like every 15 days. That will like create a lot of confusion and a lot of like disruption in the business. The idea is to do it once a quarter for safe side. And then it's like steering them. It's like not a like a hammer approach where you just like steer like change everything overnight, but it's like you go in that direction, the profitable direction, or like a most like a economical sense, or most converting or like high LTV products. So that's the like a steering in the right direction kind of analysis. But it's will take like hardly 2 or 3 hours in a like a quarter, and it's highly profitable. At least it will make you like 20% like more profitable, like higher percent conversion rate, low return rate, high repeat rate. So everything will improve with this like a minor trimming. So it's more like a trimming, less than a like a fixing or this thing. So that's the idea. And if you need help uh, to get your with your customer lifetime value, you can always reach out to us. We help brands to improve their average order customer lifetime value by 10 to 30% within 30 to 45 days, depending at the stage and the brand. And you can like claim your free consultation on retainup.co, and you can go. And we have worked with like multiple brands, so 50 plus brands, and we have improved or helped them consistently with their retention, LTV, average order value, repeat, everything around that. So that's the our goal and our motto. So uh, cool, cool. So that's it. So that's for the today. So thank you for watching.